adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on.
Welcome back to the No Snooze Podcast, episode 25. Wow, 25.
25, I swear, man. Every time we have another one in the books, especially now after 20, it's a little, it's crazy to me just to think that, you know what, we're double digits now. This has been happening for 25 straight weeks, and it's exciting, and the momentum is now serious.
And it's funny, I say it every week, but it's funny who reaches out to you and who's watching. And just want to say we appreciate everyone that is watching, commenting, interacting with us. If you're not interacting with us yet, I always get a good kick out of like someone responding to a story and knowing that you're up that early and actually watching us be, you know, sometimes helpful, most of the times just clowns.
That's right.
And my voice is a little raspy, and at the tail end or in the middle of the podcast, I'll explain why.
You'll tell us what's going on.
Amber Deegan, you screwed me over. Not really, but you'll see.
Very funny. On a serious, note, I definitely want to acknowledge the death of Mr. George Floyd. That was just straight up horrific. For those of you who don't know, he was the Minnesota man that was arrested for what they believe to be fraudulent money. He was then arrested by two officers. There's video of the whole thing. Long story short, something ensues, and he ends up face down with his hands behind his back with two officers on his back, in addition to another officer on his neck taking a knee. He later died, but there's still a social injustice and systemic racism that definitely exists. It's apparent in the video. As a white man myself, I have to acknowledge that white privilege sounds like it's a negative thing, but it's real, because I cannot tell you what it feels like to ever drive by a police officer or walk by a police officer and ever say to myself, wow, you know what? I'm nervous of the potential that can happen. So for that right there, I acknowledge that I cannot, feel what African Americans feel. But as a white man, just knowing that it's out there, I believe we can make change. And it goes much deeper than just posting the black squares on Instagram. This is about having the uncomfortable conversation. Right now I'm talking about this and my heart is literally just jumping out of my chest, because you're cautious of the words you want to use. But at the end of the day, I said, you know what? I'm just going to speak how I feel. And this is a human issue that is going on. And again, the majority of law enforcement, I like to believe, do the right thing. But if I were to ask you, hey, you guys go on this flight, but just to let you know, there might be a couple bad apples in terms of the pilots that are driving the planes. And some of them, they crash sometimes. Like, it just doesn't work. So as a society, we need to make change. And we do that by creating change on a local level. All right, I work local government. So taking steps to become active and involved in your local community, going to your town board meetings, knowing who your elected officials are in your town, goes much deeper than going out, creating chaos in terms of the looting and all of that stuff. We only can create national change locally. And that's the message I want to put forward. So definitely rest in peace to, Mr. George Floyd. And I think everybody who has a platform out there today should be using it to not put a personal opinion on it per se, but become knowledgeable and educate yourself just like you would on anything else. But I definitely understand, as white people, this is uncomfortable. But when you look at your personal circle, my personal circle from when I was, 2 years old, I've always had all walks of life, which I'm very fortunate to have. And even where I work today, my direct boss happens to be an African American. The town I work in is very diverse, so I'm lucky on that level. But a lot of people on a national level don't know exactly what's going on. So that's the spiel there. I wanted to take that as a serious moment before we start, just to speak on it.
And the theme of today's podcast will be kindness, because it all starts with us at individual levels of doing our best every day. And I know you need to do more than that, but to, at the bare minimum, be kind to one another.
Right.
And that's one thing that we both said that we're going to teach our daughters, who will be quickly arriving.
Yes.
Which I don't know if it's the franticness, but every week I say I'm breaking things in the house. I've broken more things in the last couple days, and I think it's just the nervous energy.
Right,
But
right. No, I know. So that's a perfect, well, I guess that would be,
almost a perfect segue.
Right, almost perfect segue into
And
Prego.
I'm breaking things because I'm so tight from
First we will
lifting.
go pod bod update. I think I'm going to go first because I always ask you.
Dave,
and then,
how's your body? Go.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. So I hit a milestone on the Pelly. 5,000 minutes logged on the Pelly. Can we clap it up? Thank you very much.
How many? How long is that?
So again, I converted it because so the Peloton just logs everything, which is why I like it.
That's great.
But I started on March 20th, so I don't know how many days ago that was. But 5,000 minutes. They send you a little email saying congratulations, but don't celebrate too long. We got another milestone to get to.
They send you a shirt or anything?
No, no shirt.
Wow.
No shirt. But it comes down to like 83 hours logged of straight cycling, which is more. It's like 3.5 days. Right? You know what I'm saying? Out of the past, however many months, I've been on the Peloton for 3.5 days. Like that's pretty cool. And then the push-ups, man. I don't know how many you're at this week, but I still believe that I'm above you.
I'm cruising.
So you're cruising.
I'm cruising.
How are you doing?
I'm going to make another bold statement with the push-ups. I came to realization, so I'm at 900 a day currently.
Yeah.
I've accelerated it, and I think I subconsciously have been accelerating because I realize once the baby comes, getting that number, although doable, is going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
And
Especially the time it takes.
And not being a hypocrite and saying that I always set myself up for success, I wasn't really setting myself up for success. So I'm committing to getting 1,000 a day in June. So I'm at 900 a day now, so I need an extra 300 to make up those 3 days, on top of 1,000 for the rest of the month.
Wait, what do you mean 3 days?
So 3 days I've...
Oh, I got you, because of the date.
So
okay,
if
well,
I
by the
get-
time this comes out, it'll be another week into June.
So
Gotcha.
if I get to...
'Cause it's June 4th.
June 30th, 30 days in June?
30 days has September, April, June, and November.
My guy.
There you go.
So 30 days in June, that would be 30,000 push-ups for the month of June, and hopefully welcoming my daughter
Yep.
to that. And
Right.
then I check that off the goal list, and then I can not refocus, but add on whatever next one I want to get to. So the icy hot is running low.
How are the shoulders feeling?
The shoulders actually feel pretty good.
Okay.
It's just the whole body
Right.
is starting to, it's not break down, but it's just super fatigued because we're still going on walks, showing real estate in the heat, and also going up and down stairs in the heat
Yep.
drains you. Not being super busy for the beginning of this was okay, but now that it's 900 and super busy, it's been a grind. So bold commitment. We'll see if I hit it. I think I will. Actually, I will. Today I'm only at like 275.
275, something like that.
You got to be comfortable
Yeah.
shifting gears and getting it done anyway. Tough turnaround though, because I'll have to get 730.
For the end of it.
725 sometime tonight
Well, no, that would be 1,000 then.
for today.
Yeah.
Then turn around and get another 1,000 tomorrow
Yeah.
morning or try to get it.
So I'll give you some motivation because you have leveled me up to do more push-ups so you don't catch me. So I appreciate
but
that.
you said you're
But
done
I
at
took-
100,000, right?
Yeah, probably. But now that you're going to stop, I don't think I'll ever let you catch me. But check
Why
it
am I
out.
gonna stop?
Check it out. I didn't do push-ups 2 days ago.
I know, I saw,
did
and then you
zero.
did
And then I
2,000.
did 20
I see everything.
the next day.
I see everything.
And honestly, even doing 2,000 throughout the day, it's not that hard for me. I'm telling you.
The fact
So I know that you're struggling to get this 1,000, but now that you're saying that you might take your foot off the gas, I think I could just hold you off.
in this mental chess match, I know what you're doing.
I'm not doing it.
I'm past it.
It sounds like history's repeating itself here, I must
No,
say.
I know what you're doing, and I've created my tidal wave, and it's just gonna Because listen, 30,000 in a month's going to be great. I know you've done it. I haven't done it.
No, it's a lot.
It's going to feel great. Body's getting tight. And it's something that, confidence-wise, if I can mark it off before the baby comes, even if I get to, like, say the baby comes June 25th, taking a guess.
Ooh.
And I get 25,000 push-ups.
Yep.
Technically, that was 1,000 a day.
Yep.
For 25 days.
Right.
Can you sustain it? It's another thing, but we'll see. That's my PodBot update.
I like.
I started doing push-ups in the office, my basement office that is not leaking. The other side of the basement, it's a different story.
Yeah. But no, it looks really good. And seeing the whole project come together, I love when you post, the progress updates on it. But it's really coming together. Like, I remember the first picture you had was just this raw space, and now you got the flooring down. You painted. You what did you do? Yes.
That stuff is gold.
Right. So you're doing some impressive stuff, man. I like it, and I wanna definitely get good at that type of stuff. We always talk about that, the handiness, but
I don't think I'm good at it.
I hope that the house that my realtor got for me is new enough that it doesn't it doesn't break down.
I don't think I would have done the project myself if we weren't in the middle of all this.
Yes.
Because just the amount of time it's taken is crazy, but I didn't have another option. Right. So in the future, definitely we'll just hire someone out to do it.
Yep. Prego update. So now we are 37 weeks. Right, Karina is due. I mean, it could be any day now, which is
the fact that you wrote very hormonal story.
Yeah. So I have a story on the hormones here, but I definitely want to acknowledge the 36, 37 week mark. So you can't convert the weeks to months, right?
No.
They say a pregnancy is how long, Mike?
They start having the baby 38 to 42 weeks.
No, but I'm saying, like, how many months is a pregnancy?
10, right? Technically.
Right, but they say 9 months.
They say 9.
Right, but it's technically 40 weeks, so that's 10 months.
That?
What? Yes.
The only reason I know that is because Dana and my great mother-in-law always talk about it.
Super shocked, but yes, that's correct. So there's your conversion. But I'm noticing Karina becoming very hormonal. So this morning, apparently last night when I went to bed, she went crazy looking for our lake key. Like, we live on the lake, so we have access.
Must be nice.
I had a good realtor. We have access to a lake, and we have a key that everybody in the Lake District gets.
Is there a gate? Where does this key go to?
Yeah, to a gate. But then you get on.
Just a key to the lake?
Just a key to the lake, right. There you go. So apparently this thing got lost. I thought it was in the junk drawer or whatever, but, like, I wake up and she's like, babe, I lost the lake key. Do you know where it is? And I, like, laugh because I'm like, yeah, we'll find it. We'll find it later. Didn't realize that she spent the entire night, like, tearing things apart, trying to find this key. So then I work out, I send her the message that I send her every morning, like, let's have an amazing day, I love you, I appreciate everything that you're doing for this family. She responds like, I'm super anxious about this key.
But where's the key?
Yeah, I'm super anxious about this key. So I come upstairs, I'm like, are you really serious? She's like, yeah, like, I just emailed the lake president, because there's a president of the lake.
Lake president?
Yeah. He's the lake president.
How do you become that?
I know, I'm going to do that too. I have to get on the
hat, like a sailor's hat?
I have to get on the board. But she sent him an email already saying, like, hey, I lost the key, we need a replacement. So now I'm like, oh my God, babe, like, look, I get it, you lost the key. She's like, no, I think you did, but I'm playing around with her because I'm like, you're probably right. So sure enough, I go downstairs and I happen to start looking in my jackets and I found the key. But my point of this whole story, I come back up and she's like, oh my God. She would have never cared so much about this key.
Yeah.
But for whatever the hormones are going on in there, she becomes like, super attached to this and latched on to the fact that she lost this key and she emailed the president. So now the president thinks we have a disheveled home.
Disheveled home. People can't hold on to their keys.
Yeah, I can't hold on to the key. I moved in a couple months ago. But I'm happy we found the key, babe, so I understand your hormones. So how's Dana?
I feel like we're living in the same universe because the attachment piece of that is funny. Dana has a extremely hard time leaving our dog, Pizza, for an hour.
Wait, leaving the dog or leaving Pizza?
Our dog named
Pizza, gotcha.
She has a hard time leaving Pizza too, so do I.
Yeah, me too.
She just like looks at the dog. She's like, I can't leave him. I don't know why. I just can't leave him. I'm like, he's fine. He's sleeping.
Right.
He wants
he's doing what
sleep.
he does.
Yeah, he wants us to leave and then come back. Like, he's not going to worry. He barely remembers us. When we come home, but she wouldn't leave him. So we keep bringing him places, and because she just wants him close, which is fine. And he's been a real champion. And Pete, if you're watching this, you've been great with Mom. In the morning routine, he usually stays with me and plays and eats.
Yeah.
He's going straight up and gets right back to bed with Dana.
Nice.
And cuddles up near the belly.
Nice.
So hopefully that'll turn into a safe dog with our dog.
Right,
so.
right.
But yeah, the attachment thing's funny. I've noticed that too.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have no idea. It's just wild to think that there is, 5, 6, 7 pound babies in there. Like, it's just, I don't know. God bless the women. We're nervous as anything, but you know what, Mike? We're gonna get through this.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a lot of energy, anxiousness.
Yeah.
It's more than anything, it's being anxious because there's no defined date.
Right.
Which is a weird thing. Like, I was talking to someone, think of this scenario. I was talking to Dana's, our sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, and all stuff, and I was like, imagine if there was a stork, and it was just like, say it was Amazon that delivered babies, right? Think of this scenario. Amazon is like the new stork, right?
Yeah.
And delivers babies, and one day, there's just a baby in a box, and then forever you're a parent.
Right.
Same concept.
It changes.
Crazy.
It changes. You know what today is? So today is so we still celebrate our monthly anniversaries. We've been together like 10 years now. And by celebrate, I mean
What
we
day of
fight.
the month?
No, it's the 4th. So it's June 4th.
Happy what do you say?
Right.
Happy
so
monthly?
Again, it's our last monthly anniversary together without a child.
But she could be a
Kind of
little
wild.
late, right?
And yeah, but not 12 days late, probably.
I don't know what the rules are.
I don't know. But it's just strange. And by celebrate the monthly thing, I literally mean we fight to text each other happy anniversary first to see who gets the win
Guys
on
are
the
something
week. so it's pretty funny. But anyway, no snooze recommendations. I got a good one for you. All right.
Oh,
so this
is a good one.
Right. And I think CV will like this too because everybody wants to do things as efficiently, effectively, and convenient as possible.
Some
right?
of us.
Right? Some of us. more than others. But I have been doing so. I always eat salads.
Yeah.
People always ask me, what do you eat for lunch? What do you eat for dinner?
But I tell people all you eat is salad.
Right, just
salad
salad.
To confuse them.
But they have these Dole prepackaged salads.
Those are nice.
And whether they're Dole brand, I do the ShopRite brand sometimes, whatever. But sometimes you catch them 2 for $5.
Are we talking? Yes, the ones that are in like
They're prepackaged in a bag.
The standing up ones,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Not like the flat.
Right. But it has every topping in it. There's different dressings in there. I happen to not use the dressings because sometimes they're a little heavier, so I do a little oil and balsamic. But we grill up grilled chicken. Now, because of the pandemic, we do it on a nightly basis. But before, we were doing it all in one shot. So literally, all you have to do if you're in a struggle is just take a couple of pre-cooked pieces of grilled chicken, slice them up, throw the salad in the bag, mix it up, and you got yourself a great meal. And you could do it for lunch, you could do it for dinner, but something that easy is there's no excuse. Like, we don't have to go to McDonald's. You can literally go to the supermarket, get a bag of salad, and it's super cheap.
Yeah.
So that's my no snooze recommendation. It's prepackaged. I guess I'd go with the Dole ones because Dole is nice and fresh.
Love that one. And portioning anything, I recommend too. Like even the big popcorn bags.
I eat the whole bag.
Yeah, like the big skinny pops. You know the skinny pops?
Yes.
The 100-calorie bags are great because then you just boom, 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 and then you're done. So I like that. I think if you can make, trying to think, I think if you can prep, the thing where I fall short is prepping it ahead of time.
But you just got to do it.
Because if I do have that, I'll stick to just like, all right, I eat this piece, I just eat this box of whatever's in it, and I'm good. But not having
But it's taking the time.
Yeah.
You got to find the time in it, and it only gets harder from here.
Yeah. That's why I think I've deferred to protein shakes a little too much in the quest, which I'm giggling because there's a good story coming. But I'm going to do my recommendation first. It does land with protein. I've been doing, I'm going to brand it No Snooze pudding. So it's almond milk.
No snooting.
Instant sugar-free pudding packs, like the mix-in ones.
Yep.
So usually for one package, you'll need 2 cups of milk. With almond milk, you use half of it. So 1 cup to 1 package. I might be right here. Then I put in a scoop of isopure unflavored. So then it's got the protein element.
Nice.
And that becomes my dessert. So it's this big 30-calorie plus whatever calories.
30 calories.
Well, 30 calories, and then the milk is 30 calories. So it comes out to like roughly maybe 100, give or take.
Wow.
but I don't know about the protein. I have to figure out the right consistency because it's pudding, so sometimes it gets all messy.
Yeah.
But that's my dessert, and it's been awesome. And I feel it gives me that chocolate fix or vanilla at the end, but also it's pretty filling. It's been nice.
That's awesome. I like that. Can you make me one?
Chefing with No Snooze.
Okay.
That segment.
Right.
That's going to be one of them because
Nice.
you don't really have to cook anything.
Wow, and
which
I
is
could
nice.
do the
We can do
salad
that.
bags. I could show you
Yeah.
how to open the bag properly.
Pizza one's coming. I'm going to try to do it Sunday.
Okay.
So I've been prepping for that. I finally got the gas tank filled so I can connect it to my pizza oven.
Wow.
That Dana got me. So
Shout out our boy Duxbury.
yes, he will be featured. What did he make you?
So I don't know, but he DM'd me. He's like, listen, guys, thank you so much for the shout out, but I got something coming on the way. P.S. It's for the Pelly. So
I wonder what he made. Was
So
it like
I don't
visor?
know. What?
It's like a thing that moves
yeah,
it. So you
right,
go.
right. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
but
the best.
Yeah,
His,
no, that's
videos
awesome.
are
Man.
mesmerizing.
Oh, it's crazy, and his views are through the roof.
Yeah.
That one is still going viral, by the way, right? The one that you posted.
We should go into a shop and he should give us like an hour and see if we can make something. Like
I would
he'll
chop
be
my
like, all right, make this for
I'll
a
chop my
client, we'll
finger
try."
off.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Chances we would walk out with all of our limbs.
Negative. All right, so we'll go into the protein though. You didn't.
Oh, yeah.
You got to tell us about that.
So the reason I can't really talk well right now is I've been in the mode of just getting things done because business has gotten busier. There's been more time needed for personal and family life, and there's just all these tasks you got to get done in a day. One of the tasks that I'm trying to do is be more engaged with all the people on No Snooze that call me out. And some people have called me out to do more squats, you know who you are, or do dry scoop, which I've seen before, and it's typically pre-workout, which is big. So pre-workout,
Right.
small scoop. It's probably
Yes.
like what, a tablespoon?
Yeah, it's a little scoop, and you can also like you.
Do you do the water first?
I do. Like if ever when I used to do that, I would.
does that?
What? We've.
How is that more efficient or effective?
No. So again,
Is
when
it
you
just funny?
when you lower the water content of the
more
pre-workout,
of a kick.
there's something to be said about you having a greater effect. Right? This is nothing new. Amber has just been doing it now
What?
and started like a new dry scoop gang, which is hilarious. And that's why I asked, should Mike do it?
Oh, I thought she said that.
No.
Oh, I thought I was yelling at her. I should be yelling at you.
Oh.
So basically, I almost died. So I was rushing, and I was like, all right, well, I'm done with the workout. Like, I have to have a protein shake, but I also have to respond to Amber. So I grabbed a protein scoop, which we'll post the video.
Protein, much different than
The
pre-workout.
day this comes out, we'll post the video.
Okay.
So I have a video of it because I was trying to respond. The protein powder is a half a cup,
Yeah, it's probably
third cup, fourth.
something like that. Probably
still
four.
can't breathe.
Probably 4 pre-workout scoops though.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, and it doesn't just disintegrate with water. It
Right.
clumps
Everybody
up.
knows that when you mix a protein shake, it gets clumpy. So that's it when you mix it. Imagine when you don't mix it.
So Dana's working on the couch, and I do it without her noticing, because usually she's like, "What are you doing?" So I throw the scoop in my mouth, and I take almond milk, and I try to chug, and it goes down in one motion, and I just couldn't. I basically was choking to death. I rushed and kind of put the phone down. And as I'm putting the phone down, you see all the powder.
Yeah, it looks like smoke coming out of your mouth.
You know when LeBron does
Yes,
this?
yes,
It
the
was
powder,
out of my mouth.
right.
And I honestly was standing there, and my nose is broken. Frank elbowed me a while back playing basketball in the room. Nose is broken, so I can't really breathe out of my nose. So I'm going, and trying to pull powder out of my mouth.
Oh my God.
Dana walks over. It literally looks like someone antiqued me. You know, people throw flour all over myself, and I still to now have protein jammed in my throat.
That is an incredible video.
Imagine dying that way.
That would be.
That's how I died.
That is the epitome of no snooze.
Well, I didn't want to procrastinate on getting it done, so I was like, you know what? Got to do your research on the dry scoop.
Yes, please do.
So that video will be dropping the day this comes out.
Absolutely.
We'll remember to put that out.
All right, so we ready to talk kindness now?
Yeah.
And I think the importance of kindness is a big conversation, especially what's going on, like you said, with the recent events, it makes it even more prevalent. But this is just something that, as our daughters come into this world, we have to find a way to instill kindness in it. And you know me with my fun scientific facts.
Yeah.
Right.
So bro science.
but I'll start you with this. This goes back to, I want to say either my senior year of high school. I had this one teacher, older teacher, that was telling us about this. It was a payphone. It was a study done with a payphone, right? And a payphone, for the real young listeners, is actually something that you had to put a cord. Do they have those anymore?
Yeah. All I think of when you say payphone is Carrot Top.
Carrot Top.
1-800-COLLECT or whatever.
Is that a movie? I haven't seen it.
Is that
No?
a movie? It's a guy.
He kind of looks like me.
If he was redhead, kind of.
He used to be skinny, and now he's big.
That's hilarious.
So great. All right, I'm Carrot Top. But anyway,
Great connection.
A payphone is something you literally pay. You put coin in, and then you make your phone call. So I'm sure they still have them, but they're pretty antique now, I would say. Like you don't just say, hey, can I use your payphone to anybody? You know, so this is how far back this goes. But there was a study done where they took two groups of people. And the first group, they had the coin basically in the coin return. So it made it seem like, oh my God, I found a coin, right? So they used that coin to make the phone call. The next group, they didn't do that for, so they had to use their own coin to make the phone call. After every single person left, they had an actress walk by, trip, stumble, and drop her books. It wasn't right in front of the payphone though, it was a little bit off to the side. 5%, listen to this now, only 5% of the people who had to pay for their own call stopped and helped her. 90% of the people who received they found that, right? That little act of, you know, whether it was luck or well-being or a good feeling, 90% of them went and helped this lady, right? So it was like mind-boggling that just a feeling of well-being, you're so much more likely to pay it forward to people, right? So it's a simple story, but it's just interesting and is related back to kindness, because when you're feeling good, you do kind things for people. So then the question becomes, okay, but like, how do I feel good? And by doing things for people, you actually have the same brain effect. It's called dopamine, and I believe like serotonin it is. Melatonin is the one that puts you to sleep. Serotonin is what kicks in when you like take a couple tequila shots and you feel good.
That's what we call MyQuil.
Right, MyQuil, right, right. But it's weird that scientifically, the same connectors go off when you do good for people. Like, you know, when you do something good, you just feel good. So it's a good way to start this conversation, because just by feeling better about yourself and doing kind things for people, the percentage just rises dramatically that same good deed will be done to somebody else.
Yeah, that's funny. I wonder if there was an effect of who they called. Right, like
right, yeah.
You call
certain
people and they would ruin your day.
Yeah.
You know?
But I remember us sitting there like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, and we were. It was our senior year, and it was more like a round table discussion. But it was like how he told the story. It was mind-boggling to me to know that something so simple, like you could have easily avoided this lady, but 90% who had this extra good feeling of like, wow, something good was done for me today, they paid it forward, versus 5% of the people who didn't do it.
Yeah, it's bizarre. You don't know what sticks with people too.
Yes.
Like even the littlest things, like you're saying.
Yep.
You hold the door, you smile. You don't know what sticks with people. And you, because in your own world, you see things that stick with you that aren't big things for the other person.
Yep.
Right? Like someone says something nice or makes a comment, and you're like, oh, that's nice for you to say. Like you never know what or who it's going to affect, which is part of the reason that I've personally been thinking about, not only because of what's been in the news, but also we're having kids.
Right.
So they see everything. And I've said it before, I've never been a mentor to someone. Mm-hmm. You know, you've been a great mentor for your younger siblings, in addition to, I'm sure, other people in your line of work. Me? Not really. You know, there's no one flying under my wings. You know what I mean?
But you know what? To combat that, I don't think that cycle ever stops, right? So how do infants learn? They learn by imitating, right? Which is exactly what you're saying. Like, we have to do the things that we're not only saying. But true or false, and I know you could speak to this, we see things on the internet today. It could be social media. If I see something that David Goggins, posts, I want to then go emulate that.
Yeah.
So that cycle never ever stops. So I intimidate Mike Pirelli. I know. I imitate.
No, that shirt.
I imitate what you do.
Yeah.
You imitate what I do.
Yeah.
We imitate
Fair.
as adults all the time. So we just now
Definitely.
have to be more conscious of being kind in those actions.
Well, that's the thing too, right? It's like you have to be more conscious, or do you just continue doing? If you're doing the right things anyway, then you just keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, but also now becoming extra conscious of, you know what, I'm going to make a conscious effort. I always talk about like conscious living is a thing that I like to do.
Having
because
intent.
What?
Having intent.
Exactly, and being intentional, like, okay, you know what, that door is really closed, and it's far away from me, but I'm still gonna go open it for, the person behind.
The door's closed and locked, but I have been doing my push-ups.
I haven't, so I could just rip it open. But when you live consciously like that, and you start thinking about your conscious moves, like thoughts are very strange, because to me, thoughts are. Some people will say, "Oh, well, how do you change your thoughts? How do you change your thoughts?" And my response to that is, thoughts are just things, right? They happen all the time. So you can literally say, you know what? That thought just popped in my head, but I'm not going to do it, right? I don't want to do that. And then when the good thought pops in your head, you take action. And then when you take that action, that's when it starts to build. And by you doing the right thing through the action for our daughters, that is what I'm like so focused on. And are you going to mess up? Of course. But if the majority of the time you're doing the right thing like we already do, having our daughters become kind through our actions in our household with our wives, that's not going to be the issue. I'm really concerned about, like, okay, when she goes out into this world, how is she going to respond to somebody who's not kind? And that's even like a harder conversation.
So a fun game, a couple things. So number one, there's a book called The Happiness Advantage that I read, I don't know when I read it, but a while ago. And basically the whole concept is that, and I think I've mentioned it before, but if you're happy, you in turn are more kind to people, which in turn attracts more people to you.
Hence the payphone.
Exactly. So it's called The Happiness Advantage, but the leading by example type of situation is top of the list, with daughters going out into the world and dealing with people that aren't necessarily in the same mindset. Mm-hmm. My trick that's worked for me is I kind of make it a game. Not that people's anger should be a game, but if someone's just blatantly rude to you, my goal is to make them laugh and like me at the end. It's like a little game I play.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the more angry someone is with me,
you're like, I gotta flip them.
And I don't do it like as in I want to be a jerk to the person.
Right.
But I empathize that they've probably had a terrible day. And just by asking them questions and empathizing and saying like, so, how was your day so far? Usually they say, it's been nuts. Like, I've been getting yelled out by every person in town because they need their sump pump fixed, or the HVAC's gone out, or something like that.
Yep.
And then they start like laughing about it because like, this is ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, instead of someone trying to fight you the whole time, you're getting the answers you want. They're a little more happy at the end of it, and then you leave on your day.
Right.
It doesn't work all the time.
No, but that's really good. And the takeaway there, listening to that is I always speak about empathy and how I'm trying to, get better with empathizing with people. But how do you do that? You do that by genuinely listening to somebody when they're talking. So for the everyday person who's kind of struggling with like, you know what, I really don't understand the whole empathy piece, just start to listen, and really be conscious about listening to somebody and hearing them out. That's an act of kindness in itself. But I also will say this, I think it's hard for people to be genuinely kind throughout the day and throughout the month and throughout the year if you're not kind to yourself. So if you're not taking care of yourself, not only physically, I'm talking mentally, spiritually, emotionally, if you don't think highly of yourself, how are you going to genuinely think highly of anyone else if you don't know what it's like to think highly?
Yeah.
Right? Like you can be like, yeah, well, I'm very nice to people. I smile to everybody. Yeah, but is that a genuine kindness, or are you just trying to like, hey, I smiled, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Until you learn how to genuinely, be kind to yourself by coming up with really good routines that work for you, utilizing small habits that we talk about all the time as part of your daily routine, because everybody goes through life, but it's so important to me that my morning goes the way that it goes, so I have an opportunity to be genuinely kind to people.
Steve Jobs said, if you get up, maybe it wasn't Steve Jobs, I don't know who it was. Someone said that if in the mornings you keep getting up and you don't like what you're doing enough mornings in a row, you have to change it, right?
Yep.
And it's funny if it was Steve Jobs, because he apparently wasn't a very nice guy. But I think the happiness starts with figuring out what makes you happy.
Yes.
And trying to audit. Obviously, you have to make money, you have to support yourself, you have to support your family, and you're not always going to be happy. We're not saying that. But if you can audit yourself and try to find things that you really do enjoy and that light your fire, and you surround yourself and significant other of someone that genuinely you love and makes you happy, which is all foo-foo stuff, which I'm really not into. But that makes it easier to be kind to people because you're good.
Yep.
Like if you have health and happiness and your family's all set and you're at least providing the main basic needs of everyone, then it's so much easier to be like, hey, listen, you spilled my coffee, no big deal. Don't worry about it.
Right.
You know, it's just coffee. That's right.
And when you take a perspective on things, and this is something that, again, is very difficult to do, but when you understand that you can take ownership of your personal perspective, right? Think about this. Your ownership of your own perspective, meaning that you have an opportunity to change the narrative of your story. Mm-hmm. Okay? So when I take ownership of my perspective, I understand fully that I can be upset for 45 minutes, but I am still in control. So at some point, I have to tell myself, dude, you're in control of these thoughts. Let it go, right? And sit in your nonsense for a while, because believe me.
Why 45 minutes, can I ask?
I'm just saying, for me, like sometimes it might be 45 minutes before I can ever come back to like a normal thought.
I thought that was like your organized time.
No.
Like, wow, this guy's got it down.
He's got it down to a T. Yeah, set the alarm. No, but like for me, it's very hard. It used to be so hard for me to come back from things that I'm like so upset about. And now I know that I own my perspective. I truly believe that I'm in control of my thoughts. And until you own your own perspective, you'll never change the narrative of your life story. And how do you do that? You start with yourself and you start with your inner circle, right? So for us, we can just be genuinely nicer to the three of us. Now, what does that do? If we go back to the payphone thing, me being nice to you, you being nice to me being nice to you, you're gonna go be nicer to your wives, I'm gonna be nicer to my wives, our wives are now gonna be nicer to them. And it's a ripple effect that happens 90% of the time, apparently, if you look at the payphone thing. Right? So if 90% of the world is catching on to this stuff, which is something that really needs to happen in more ways than just talking about kindness, like we spoke about, real events, the world can really change. But you can't change the world until you change yourself, right? That the famous quote I have on my signature, be the change you wish to see in the world.
Who said it?
Gandhi? I don't know.
Gandhi said it.
Is that right?
Dave Regina said it.
Dave Regina? No, so
I love how we throw so many quotes out and we never know who said it.
But
that's fine.
But it sticks with you.
Right?
Like, I don't know. I have all these things because I'm consumed by 10 pages a day. So I have
Lead from the front, right? That's a good one. Lead from the front.
Right. But,
same concept.
but when you start, like, I couldn't tell you where I get these things from.
When in Rome.
Right? Rome.
Sorry, go ahead.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, when you don't have to be an expert on this stuff. You don't. But clearly I know what I'm talking about through what I'm reading. I don't need to tell you where I got it from because I might not know. I forget. But I remember the lesson of it, and I'm able to now, talk about that stuff and pay that same thing forward. And again, I think a lot of what you consume, like if you're consuming happy, kind things in your life, you now do that. If you're watching, murder story, like I used to yell at my wife during this pregnancy at the beginning. She's obsessed with murder podcasts. She really genuinely loves them. Yeah. Like she loves hearing the stories.
Dana as well.
It's like a big thing. They really genuinely like it. But then she would be like, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Well, how could you sleep if you literally just listened to the murder on the lake and now I just gave you a key to the lake? Like, it just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really just doesn't work.
You got to control your input.
You really do, because then your output changes, But starting with your circle
is there an input that you like? I know you don't watch movies, but is there an input that you keep going back to, like a certain type of input? Like, do you like, I know you like docs.
Oh
a
yeah,
certain
I
genre of
definitely
doc?
I love watching things for sure, but it takes too much time for me. Like I don't have all this free time to just be consuming that stuff. So I consume it like via podcasts. Yeah, audio is great, but really I was having this conversation with CV. I'm intentional about the books that I choose because of this.
Yeah.
Right. Like I choose to read things that one, they pique my interest, but it's a jovial vibe. It's something that's good in the life, right? Self-development. And people really say, oh yeah, it's foo. Try it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm walking proof of it because now specifically.
But you take action. A lot of the problem with a lot of self-improvement stuff is people don't take action. They just keep reading stuff.
Because you're not consuming enough to understand what you have to do, right? And if you do it for 30 days just might not be enough.
Yeah.
So you got to do it for 60 days.
Yeah.
And that's where like journeys for me, I swear, like I'm obsessed with that process. Any routine of getting from the bottom to the top of anything could be a mountain. I'm now so focused on just, okay, one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. Whereas if we did this podcast 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago, I would have been a disaster. Because I would have been like, oh, this isn't growing the way I want it to grow. It's not growing. And it's really problematic for your life. But when you look at, that was me.
Well, that's a patience thing too.
Yes, but again, maybe I was taught patience through the stuff that, yes, I'm getting older, but also through the stuff that I'm consuming.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I'm just curious as what people consume. Like I know for me, I have stuff in my ears constantly. And I always have stuff playing. If I'm walking in the grocery store.
Yep.
Always.
Just
because
dead
you
time.
don't know what's going to leak in by just hearing other people's BS.
Right.
It's terrible to say, but it's very selfish in the fact of like, I want to control what I'm juicing in my ears.
Can I stop right there though? You said it's very selfish.
I'm brainwashing myself.
You are, but it might be selfish in that moment, but then it's unselfish because you're going to be better to everybody else.
Yes. In addition, if say for the day I'm in a unique situation where I'm by myself.
Palate's dry, sorry.
70% of the day, maybe, and working by myself. Like, obviously I have a team and stuff, and it's Dana and family, but majority of the time I'm by myself. So I'm able to do that, whereas other people aren't able to seclude themselves and make, they can't make those choices because they're consuming what other people talk to them about, like water cooler talk.
Right.
The majority of it now is very negative, which is fine. You're entitled to be negative.
What is water cooler?
Water cooler talks like when everyone gathers around for a break in an office. Yeah. I don't have that.
Right.
Like I don't really have the negative input other than the news, which I choose to figure out what's the important. If someone said this, if something's very important, you'll hear about it.
Right.
It doesn't work great for weather.
Yep.
Like last night we were driving home and
then
it was
boom.
a monsoon.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, that was the most scared I've ever been driving.
Really?
I had Dana, pregnant wife, Petey, me driving, and it's like late at night. My contacts are dry because it's like 9, and I'm like this, trying to drive.
That's crazy.
Terrible. But anyway, side note. So if you can control, one of the best things I ever got were AirPods and Bluetooth headphones because they go with you.
Yep.
You walk somewhere, you put them in. Go in the grocery store, you put them in. And I've said it before, but I like to listen to either stuff that's self-improvement and or comedy, stand-up comedy podcasts, because even in the most serious of times, they're able to put not make it into a joke, but look on the lighter side, which lightens up the whole heavy situation of everything. Death, family, risk, worry, they just kind of put a different perspective on it, which I like, which is not something you would expect.
And again, though, you got to
figure out yourself.
You have to be okay with knowing that negative thoughts are going to come.
Oh, yeah.
Bad times in life are going to happen. But if you have any control of the majority of, your thoughts, understanding when to take action on a positive thing creates change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just knowing the whole process of how things work now in your own brain, and I can't tell you how your brain works, you can't tell me how mine works. But once you start to put the work in on a regular basis, it becomes very clear. Like I have a lot of clarity with that.
What do they always say? Your biggest enemy is?
Yourself.
And what do they say about keeping your enemies?
Close.
So you need to figure out yourself because you're your biggest enemy. So you got to be think of your mind as another person. It's a good way to separate it. I'm not saying be like Mr. Ripley type stuff.
Right.
But if you like know how you react to things,
Yep.
be like, you would react that way because you want this. It's like trying to outsmart yourself.
Right.
This could turn into a black hole. But I think about that all the time. Like sometimes in work, I know a downfall of mine is the lack of patience, right? So sometimes I have to slow myself down and say, like, I would love to try to sign up this listing, but it just doesn't make sense at this time because I didn't have the research done,
right.
And they want too high of a price, and that's something you learn with time. And like in my personal life, you know, Dana does something that usually sets me off, and I'm like, usually here you'd snap, you know. Now just, you know, let it roll off the shoulder, see how that feels. Getting better at it, not perfect, but when you break it up,
I don't know if we can ever perfect that, but
no.
Understand, just doing what you're doing is the first step, and over time that just changes your life.
I have to say too, the morning routine helps with the fatigue, which is counterintuitive, but it actually helps me in the long run.
Of course.
Because I'm used to being a little more fatigued mentally later in the night now, because I'm doing it every day. Whereas if I was, say, waking up at 7 and had a full day of work, I'm not used to that feeling at the end of the day, where now it's just, I know at 8 o'clock I'm fatigued and I'm able to deal with it better.
Right.
And my willpower is still a little better, which I think is scientifically proven. Bro science.
I love science. This will take us to Questies because it's kind of around the same topic. Not this very first one, but the other one.
Yeah, that'll take us.
Yeah, the other ones are. So we'll go for Becca from New Hampshire. You seem to have a unique niche with No Snooze, but how would you inspire someone to start something unique? Not for nothing, this is another tough question.
Very vague.
Right, when you look at these questions, and we're trying to, you know, as it comes in, we just want to share it, but these are a little difficult. So first thing.
Is that a compliment, Becca?
Right, I will say that, yes, we have a unique niche in No Snooze, but it's unique because it's our experiences. We're not, yes, we're sharing things that we do, but nobody can go and emulate exactly what we're doing because we're utilizing our own lives. So that's the uniqueness of it, right? Yes, we happen to have a niche at like the whole 5 a.m., but there's a million people that wake up at the same time.
There's a million companies that already do it.
And then also to create something unique, and you love this, you love this.
Bring it home.
No, you love this.
Bring it home.
Document, you don't create.
Well, that's Gary Vee.
But that's fine. So that's applicable here. You become unique off of the documentation that you have, and then if you think something is unique through that, then you utilize it.
You don't, and you say it to me all the time. You're like, do you think people really care? And I'm like, yeah, because you don't think it's unique.
No,
right?
I get into arguments with you too all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I share my food recipe?
Claudio says it too.
Yeah.
Because you're unique. You're a snowflake.
Yeah, snowflake.
I agree. That was beautifully said. No Snooze is just a brand that is us. We are the brand.
So and it says, but how would you inspire someone to start something
Just
unique?
document.
So you start documenting things, and you start documenting it in your form.
Maybe you put it out there though.
But maybe you like to write, right? So maybe you write a whole bunch of things, and you don't see. This is where I think we disagree.
Throw it out.
I wouldn't put it out right away. I would take, maybe you did a journal, like say you like poetry. I don't know. Becca, I hope you like poetry because this is what I'm going to do as an example in terms of writing. Maybe you say, you know what, I really want to create a book. So you committed to a process of journaling for 3 months. Now you have 3 months of actual content that you just documented. Mm-hmm. And then you have the opportunity to go in and take out the unique experiences to hopefully create something off of that. So that's where I think it's pretty cool in terms of like you keep your content until you can really create something from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, that's definitely the right answer. The way that,
is it? I don't know.
Well, no, it's a good way to solve it, right? The other approach that I would take, which is just you have to figure out what your style is. Like I get motivated by seeing feedback, and I'm less likely to do something if I don't make it public.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Yes.
So
definitely.
for me, I think there's less of a chance for my personality if I did 30 things behind closed doors versus 15 mediocre ones in front and figured it out along the way.
Right.
Like if I was a rapper, I'd be the Lil Wayne approach, where I would never write stuff down. I would just rip.
go rip.
Yeah, you'd
Bit
be
it.
very strategic. You'd be the Drake
Oh
version.
yeah. Well,
How about that
I don't
rap
know.
reference?
Does Drake
Pretty
write
good.
his own lyrics? I don't know. I think
Are you calling out Drake?
I'm just saying. I think he
Who's
has
a rapper
40.
that
and-
writes?
Yeah, and Eminem writes his own stuff, right?
Yeah, you'd be Eminem. Kind of.
And Eminem is.
You have much better facial hair than Eminem. Becca. So Becca is the girl. Every time I hear Becca, I think of Superbad. Have you ever seen Superbad?
No, never seen that movie. That's the one with the curly hair. He has the curly hair.
Yes.
And
What is the name of the guy with curly hair? 24 seconds, put it on the clock.
In Superbad?
Yes, the bigger guy with curly hair.
It's something like
Not his name in the movie.
his nickname. Isn't it like McNuffie or McDuffie or something?
That's the other guy.
What McFlurry?
McLovin. but that's the
McLovin,
skinny guy.
McLovin.
That's the other dude.
That's the other dude?
That's the other dude. The main character. It's
The main
one's
character?
Michael Cera and one's.
Oh, I have no idea.
That's not Michael Cera. Seth is the main guy.
Oh, Seth Rogen.
No, he's in it.
Oh,
But the main,
I have
right?
no-
Isn't the main guy's name Seth?
I have no idea.
Anyway.
I failed.
Becca is the girl that Michael Cera's going after. Anyway,
McLovin. Gotcha.
that's the relation.
All right.
I think in movies too.
You have your phone on you?
I don't.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Do I need it?
Go to the DM. I think a new question came in from Blake.
Oh my God, I feel like this is a.
Blake DeSalvatore, I believe.
How do you say that? How do you know?
I just got a notification.
Oh. I feel like this is a setup.
No, it's not. But it's just real time.
All
Right?
Well, there's a.
From Blake.
Oh, he's responding to your picture with the cutoff sleeves. You're welcome for the rec.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Looks good.
Wait, I cut that way before you said that.
But it looks like the 90s. That's the look. Serious question. Blake DeSalvatore. Go follow him. Serious question. How do you guys wake up so early every single day? Do you guys go to sleep early or do you take naps throughout the day? I'm a night person and try to wake up early. Even if I go to sleep 10, 11, I struggle getting up before 7. Genuinely asking because it's hard for me to do stuff in the evening since I work till 6. So I want to get stuff done before walk. I'm assuming it means work.
Yeah.
Just repetition, I guess. You got to train the body.
So I'll give you something tangible for him. He's asking about how do we wake up so early every day, right? That was what it was?
Yeah.
So you struggling to wake up before 7, and this is the same advice I give everybody. I might have said it on here too, but this is specifically for you, Blake, because this is going to work.
Bloque.
Look at it like a process. Give yourself 30 days, okay? Now, day 1 through 7, start waking up at 6:45. So that's 15 minutes before, okay? Now, week 2 of those 30 days, start waking up at 6:30. I think people, you go wrong because you say, you know what, I'm going to go from 7 a.m. to 5 a.m. Mike is like me. And yeah, you can get acclimated to it, but it's just a much harder approach versus sitting back and saying, you know what, I'm going to be patient, like you said, and I'm going to do this strategically by cutting back 10 to 15 minutes a week. Do that for 4 weeks. Now you just cut yourself an hour.
My question is, what if the first week they aren't able to do the 6:45?
Why wouldn't you be able to do 6:45? What does that mean?
In theory.
Okay, so this is the question that I always
Good
get.
question.
No, I guess, but then you're really not ready to commit.
All right.
You know, and if you cannot commit to something so small for yourself, and again, repetitive, but I will probably say this over and over and over again. You're looking for some magic pill to become either successful, to wake up early, all of us in life, to be an overnight success, and it just doesn't exist.
I would like a shake.
So until you, like I said, until you can really understand that this is a process and that you want to commit to it, because if you don't really want it, you're not going to do it. So by you asking this question, Blake, I hope that you really want it for yourself. And my advice would be give yourself 30 days. And yeah, you know what? Maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, maybe once a week you don't do it. But the next day you got to come back to it. And then eventually you create a new routine for yourself, which will ultimately get you to 5 a.m. after 2 months of it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're at 7 and you wanted 2 hours, do it the right way. Take a 2-month process for the rest of your life to be really successful in the morning.
I agree. My advice, I do take a couple naps now, but my advice also would be to get an accountability partner. And we could be those guys. You tag us in the morning, we'll repost you.
Yeah.
5 a.m., whoever tags us. And then it becomes like, oh, I don't want to publicly be shamed because I know people are watching and they expect me to be reposted at 5 a.m. That's one of the biggest things that got me over the hump was like, I can't let people down.
And that doesn't work.
Yeah, so you got to figure out what gets you on.
And no offense to you and CV. I just don't.
Why are you throwing CV?
I'm just saying.
Because you get CV in trouble.
You're such a nice guy, and I appreciate this so much, your kindness. But when you say to me, and you say to us, guys, I don't want to let you down.
I don't want to let you down.
First of all, I have too much accountability to myself. So before I can ever let anyone else down, I'm really not worried about you guys.
That's fair.
Like, I would be so guilty for myself. But that's two different approaches.
But
you know what I mean?
elaborate too, it's mixed in with all these other goals and the brand, No Snooze, the real estate stuff, family stuff, because I made it in my head for me, and I've said it a million times, I have to rationalize why I'm doing something, and it's got to contribute to the big why. So because I wake up at 5 a.m., I'm able to spend more time with Dana at night. I'm able to knock out more work earlier and be in better shape so when my daughter comes, I'm in better shape to be able to work all day like crazy, or not like crazy, just work all day, and at the end of the night still have the high energy to be able to play with her. So like I rationalize the big picture. In addition, I just don't like letting people down, and when I do things with other people, whether it's representing them as clients, being married to them, being family, I don't like letting people down in general. I've found that as a trigger for me.
And that's awesome. And I think I do that too, but I have to come first selfishly because I can't show up for you guys until I show up for myself.
But that's your big why too. Like you have the big picture of I need to take care of one, and then by take care of one, I'm that much better of a person that I can take care of everyone else, which is the same concept, just a different roundabout way.
Yeah.
So Blake,
that's good.
Get up at 5 a.m. No excuse.
Get up tomorrow. We have time for one more question? Yeah, because this one might be a little elaborate answer though. Not the fashion one. I'm gonna go to this one, and this was a personal text message, so I'll leave the name out. I have to lead a presentation to our company staff of 100 people over Zoom in 2 weeks, and I legitimately feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack. I'm not their boss, so I feel funny training them, but as soon as my boss asked me to do it, I said, of course, without thinking about it. It's pretty funny to think about.
Been there.
Yeah. I'm good at my job, but this is definitely new for me, so I'm hoping you can give me some specific advice.
A backup plan is you could always act like you froze. It's nice. You can't do that in person, but
on Zoom, right?
And then you collect your thoughts.
Just leave the meeting.
Well, like say you forget what you're going to say, you could be like, and then you could think about it, and then
that's good.
Practice that.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing, though, I would say, because I go through this, right? Like maybe it's not 100 people, but there's been times that I talk to 400 people, and there's been times that I talk to 5 people. And nowadays it is either on Zoom or in person. First step is, though, being honest with the crowd. So I think that's a great segue to what you just texted me into telling the staff. Like, hey guys, look, when the boss asked me to do this, at first I was, kind of thrown off by it. It's not my regular self, but you know what? I became so obsessed with it, and this is how you build trust. When you speak through your preparation process for this training, I think that will go a long way to the employees. So if what I'm going to tell you is, if it is 2 weeks out, act like it's going to happen in 3 days. Create this presentation in 3 days. So now you have over a week and a half to do exactly this. Every day when you wake up, read it over. Every night before you go to bed, read it over. Now, every time you read that over, you're going to get confidence in your head, but you're also going to say, you know what, I didn't like the way this was, so then you add new things and you try to perfect it. The staff will really appreciate that you went through this process and you basically became an expert in 2 weeks on what you're teaching them.
I love that. And you could have a piece of paper, so you could have the fallback. Something I did and I've done for my speeches is I record myself doing it and I listen to it.
Nice.
And you can listen
back. That's
back.
awesome.
And here you're not really going to have an applause, but you can put in there things for breaks. So like for the speeches, I would leave space for applause. Right. If you knew, so then you'd take a break and then you look down. So you'd time.
What if there's no applause? It's just silence?
So you just got to.
You just say, you go like that. Excuse me, guys, sorry.
But you, even like you're saying, to the fact of looking down when you realize there's a break in the action, knowing all that ahead of time makes you more at ease because you've done it so many times. You could also go in just blind and Zoom one person.
Tell them Mike sent you.
Yeah, tell Mike sent you.
Go
The other
blind.
trick on Zoom is you can just talk to one person. Just be like,
Yes.
hey, Tim, I'm doing the speech soon or whatever. I'm
Right.
doing the training. Like, I'm just going to look at you when I train.
Yep.
Because you don't.
But you could do that in real life too. But
yeah,
also what, you know, it's kind of, Mike likes to say foo-foo, but being genuine and being yourself is real, right? Like people, especially if you're not their boss.
That's not foo-foo. I'm saying
No,
like inspiration.
But I'm saying foo-foo, like,
Fugazi.
yeah, duh, like this is very obvious, but
Fundamental.
do it in a way that if your staff respects you, and I'm sure they have a ton of respect for you because I know who he is, but if this is something that you haven't done before, and you know the staff and you know how the personality is of the individuals, you know what they already like and what they like about you. So be that same person and show up for them that same way. Don't come out there and be like, and this was a struggle for me when I first got the job. Hey, like, I'm teaching you this is how you should do it, blah, blah. Like, you can't do that because then the staff of 100, right, it's not going to be a good thing for you. So those are just different ways, or you could just freeze and,
you do the freeze frame.
I like that too. All right, so that, you got anything else on that one, or we're good there?
No, I think you nailed it.
Cool. Mike's favorite section, little would you rather?
Would you rather?
All right. Would you rather be an extra in a really good movie or have a big part in a terrible movie?
That's a good one.
Right?
I'm thinking of specific movies that, like, if I was an extra, it'd be pretty awesome. I would say extra in a really good movie, and like a mafia movie that's like timeless, like in The Godfather. If like a murder scene, I was the guy doing like the waiter, or like I'm the guy who screams.
It's in a really good one. See, I might take the Donald Trump approach, and this is not this is not political. This is factual. You watch the documentary. He strategically back in the day used to thrive off of obtaining energy. So whether if it was positive or negative energy, he knew that okay, energy is getting me into the spotlight. So whether you're talking good about me or you're talking bad, you're still talking about me. Same thing with Kanye West, right? So I think I might take that approach, be a lead on a really bad movie and hope that movie becomes the worst movie in the world that people then talk about. And now I'm the star of a really bad movie.
I thought you were going with I want to be in the big time ones as an extra because you're getting the energy from the big time movie.
No, I'm saying that the Kanye West, when you say Donald Trump, then people are like, oh, political. It's Kanye West. Like he likes to draw negative energy and like have people talk about him in a negative way because they're still talking about him.
Yeah, it's marketing 101.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I think on a movie level, I'd still rather be, the big man in a terrible movie.
I think it's just because he doesn't know any big movies.
Yeah.
He's like, what's a big movie?
Would you rather always have a small rock in your shoe or always have mud in your shoe?
That's funny. I would say small rock.
I agree. Small rock.
Walking around mud make noises.
It feels terrible, but mud in your shoe is just.
Did someone submit that?
It's just nasty. You ask this every time. I bring these to you. Nobody submits these, Mike.
Someone who said it? Dana. Dana was like, who comes up with these? And I was like, I think Dave does.
Dave does.
I don't really listen when I ask him.
Dana actually, she texted me this one.
Uh-oh. Would you rather clean the bathroom or do laundry?
Would you rather have your thumbs replaced with your big toes or have your pinky fingers replaced with your pinky toes? When you think about that image, right?
I would do pinkies because my pinkies are already jacked up.
You would do pinkies?
Yeah. So thumbs important.
But genuinely, I think I would choose thumbs.
Ooh, I don't
because
have great big
my pinky toe is
so
so small. No, it's just so small.
Yeah, it's like losing a finger.
Like I actually can use I can do things with this pinky. I can't do anything with my pinky toe. Like I know pinky toes have a purpose because of balance or whatever, but they are so small and insignificant to me that I would not have that on my finger. Like I would rather have a fat finger like my big toe on my hand.
Does a toe bend like a thumb?
No, it just looks like it. Like it just got to look like
it
you have
bends though, right?
Yeah, you have your toes on your.
I'm moving my toe to try to figure it out.
You have your toes on your hands.
Yeah, I would put. You're right. You flipped me on this one.
We flipped them. We flipped them.
No. But the pinky,
No.
yeah, gloves would be tough.
Oh,
I'd be
man.
like in another movie reference, The Prestige. Have you seen that
Never
movie?
seen it.
Jesus Christ. We're going to have a No Snooze.
The Prestige, what is that?
No Snooze movies, No Snooze screenings where we watch a movie for the first time.
But we've been saying that and you don't do it. You
I
don't,
know,
you
I
don't take
know.
me to the movies.
I'm not taking you to the movies. You got to earn that. So in The Prestige, he, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. He cuts off his pinky. I don't want to give it away for you, but basically he wears a glove and his pinky's cut off. So
Yeah.
if you have that, you can do magic.
I guess. Yeah, with like maybe our daughters or something, but like
Yeah, dude, that's going to be played big in the future.
it's gonna play big in the
That's
future.
going to be a big move.
All right. That was good, but I'm definitely going big toe there. This will bring us
My mantra beats.
to my favorite part of the episode, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
Unexpected kindness
Don't point at me.
is the most powerful, least expensive, and most underrated agent of human change. Don't know who said it, but
Nice delivery. I'm going to try your style. My favorite clip of the week. Miguelito's mantras.
Ito.
A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions. And the roots spring up and make new trees. Baby boy.
That was awesome. I think we need to. All right.
Who said that? It doesn't say who said it.
This is going to be a fun editing thing for you.
No, this is good. Great content.
This is good. Great content.
So I am going to admit for another week, Miguelito's Heat on the Feet is being taken over by Davey Dimes over here. Davey does it all. Should be his new nickname because he does it all.
No, but
He's got the shirt and the sock combo. Is that too matchy in 2020?
so
Fashionistas, I know there's probably a lot out there.
funny thing about the anchor in general. So the anchor itself is super significant for my family. It's actually one of our like family symbols, right? So my grandfather, Navy, anchor, water, dad's a boater, like
Cast anchor.
boom, it all ties in, right? So not only when I see things with anchors on it do I think family, but now I bring it into my household because of the whole lake thing. Like
Put an anchor
it's
there
pretty.
yet?
I wouldn't. No, I don't have. But I have things. I have things with anchors on it, right? And then the socks. Shout out to Frankie
Did I
P.
see a hole in them?
No, oh look, you gotta get the bleach. Gotta get the bleach stain. Sorry, Frankie.
Wow.
Sorry, Frank.
He's not a machine.
Sorry, Frankie. So these were from Frankie's wedding, I believe, right?
Good times.
We all wore these.
Some of my favorite socks too.
Yes, and very comfortable too. And I think they came with a bleach stain on it, but you know, I don't know.
Which makes me think, where's my pair? I must have those somewhere.
I'm sure you do.
You know what? There's probably holes in the bottom. I wore them so much.
Probably.
Love them. Same style shoe as Frank's wedding as well.
Yes. Well, the wingtip is major these days. Like if you don't have a good wingtip, you need to get one.
Yeah, I don't have. I got these from Italy. They we got a bunch of wine and then they sent us to the next stop. I'm pretty sure I got work. I bought 2 pairs.
Oh man.
Those are nice though, but I appreciate you stepping up and taking over the sock game.
Well, it's easy, especially when I'm back at work. It's easy because I have to wear socks every day to work. So I have a
Do you though?
SCV. I have a plethora of socks.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you're gonna join in on Heat of the Feet?
No, I can't. That's your thing.
No, it could be our thing.
No,
Kindness.
no. I'm not going with that. Heat on the
Our milk. We'll
Heat on the
Could
feet.
be our milk.
Could be arm milk.
That could be our milk.
That could be our milk.
It could be our milk.
I've never seen it. I don't
Whose
know.
milk is that? Could be our milk.
That's a movie. I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. Until next time, stop snoozing,
Get up and get after it.
my man. Can't do that. You can't. Good.
That's another Epi in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.